Welcome to Eurosport's continuing look back at Formula One. The year 1988, the place Adelaide, Australia, and the checkered flag falls on a turbocharged Grand Prix car for the very last time. The honour goes to Alain Prost, but the championship to Ayrton Senna. It's the end of an era. Turbos are finished. 1989 sees the return of the atmospheric motors and the return of Renault to Formula One, the company which started turbocharged Grand Prix racing back in 1973. Bernard Dudot and his team have worked at Viry-Châtillon, Renault Sport headquarters, for 2 years to produce the Régis' first atmospheric V10. On January the 27th, the V10 runs for the first time on the test bed. The RS1 was christened. Renault took 20 Grand Prix victories in the 12 turbo years, but no title. Now it has to fight Japanese, American and Italian technology. But before it goes on the track, Renault Sport engineers simulate the world's tracks on computer in a display of virtual reality. After months of testing, the engine goes public for the first time with the Williams team in the first Grand Prix of the 1989 season. The place, Rio de Janeiro, Terry Boutsen lapping the Brazilian circuit relentlessly. More important than lap times at this stage is information. Information needed by all the engineers to make the car even better. Riccardo Patrese and Boutsen interface with the computers to provide all the feedback humanly possible.
Run position 5 in this run, Terry, please. Got
it. It's not just Williams Renault, but McLaren Honda, with Prost and Senna, who tested the V10 all winter at Suzuka. Ferrari too, with Nigel Mansell and Gerhard Berger in front of their V12. Jack Rapagua heralds the new era of atmospherics, and everyone wants to show well right from the start. The era starts March 26, 1989. The first Grand Prix gets underway. Riccardo Patrese on the front row, seen from Boutsen's car. Berger's Ferrari engine blows. He hits Senna, and Boutsen is suddenly second, only his mirror broken to show for it. Renault a 1-2, the first race of the year. But after 4 laps, Boutsen is out, the engine damaged by debris from that first corner crash. Patrese leads for 15 laps before retiring from his 177th Grand Prix, a record number of starts. Prost goes on to win. Patrese heading for the pits. McLaren Honda is again the yardstick by which teams can judge their progress. Renault's reward comes with 4th place at Mexico. Patrese taking his first points with 2nd place. The following race is Phoenix, where Prost takes his first American victory and his first atmospheric win. Prost again second. Now Renault knows the engine is good, and with Williams they can win. comes in the very next Grand Prix at Montreal in Canada, where the weather is appalling, but Williams are both strong and lucky. Rain specialist Senna blows his engine and boots and takes the first Formula One win of his career. And for the third consecutive race, Riccardo Patrese is second for a Renault 1-2, a rapturous moment for the French constructor. But Renault cannot relax, the McLaren team is still king, even if the relationship between Prost and Senna is deteriorating. Ron Dennis has his hands full with both racing and internal politics, but Senna is McLaren's future. In Formula One, money talks, and Honda has made it quite clear that Senna is to be world champion again. Before McLaren, Senna had forged his relationships with Japan with Lotus Honda. Prost feels more and more alone in the team with which he has been for 6 years. Since Imola, the San Marino Grand Prix, where Senna took the race lead from behind, breaking the unwritten agreement between the two drivers, there's been no love lost between Senna and Prost. Senna wins San Marino and then Monaco. At Phoenix, Prost hits back and things look better. Senna retires and Prost wins. There's another retirement for the Brazilian in Canada with a broken engine. Prost wins the French Grand Prix even though the prize breaks. At Silverstone, with new gearboxes, Senna spins out, giving Prost his 4th straight win. At Hockenheim, Senna ends Prost's break with his first victory since Monaco, and the championship is beginning to look wide open again. He wins at Spa too in a virtuoso performance in the wet. But the press is now reporting that Prost is talking to Ferrari. At Monza it's official, Prost has signed for Ferrari for 1990. The Tifosi, the Italian fans, go wild, and Senna is suddenly the bad guy. Senna's engine blows and spins him out of the Parabolica, and the Tifosi love it. Prost wins and earns Italy's love and Ron Dennis's hatred by giving the Italian Grand Prix trophy to the crowd. Portugal 1989, perhaps the race of the year, at Estoril, riding with Nigel Mansell in his Ferrari. Mansell is the man of the moment, his wild driving style exciting the whole world. No problems for McLaren. 8 seconds to change all 4 tyres. But then the Mansell story begins. Too fast, he misses his pit. Then incredibly selects reverse, although team manager Cesare Fioro tries to stop him. It's a forbidden manoeuvre. Out comes the black flag, but Mansell misses it for 3 laps, so engrossed is he in his race with leader Senna. They collide, and both are out. Prost's title chances take a quantum leap. Mansell is disqualified from the next race. And for Prost and Senna, the championship is all down to these last two events. At Suzuka, Senna, like the Japanese, is inscrutable. He has to win both races if he has any chance of that title. Prost too is tense all weekend. He just wants the season to be over. The game begins. 150,000 spectators are in the stands, and they have eyes only for the McLaren Hondas. National pride at stake. Prost never qualifies well. Senna goes out. The message is clear. The Professor has to lead the race, and his car is perfect. He's worked on it all night. Senna loses the advantage, and he'll have to fight to pass. For Prost, the championship's in sight. Equally matched cars, Senna has little chance of passing. On the 46th lap, Senna, heading down to the chicane, starts his attack. In seconds, Prost is out. The two cars locked together, Senna begging the marshals to push him backwards. He's push started. Takes the escape road and rejoins the circuit. In second place. Stopped for the new nose. He lost his nose in the incident. And now he's attacking race leader Sandro Nannini in the same place, in the same way. Nannini, however, gives way. Senna takes the flag, and for the Japanese, at least, Senna is the greatest. But there's no Senna on the podium. He's been disqualified. Nannini wins the race, and Alain Prost is world champion. McLaren appeals, but FISA President Jean-Marie Balestre calls Senna a dangerous driver and confirms Prost is champion.
In Suzuka was never my responsibility, and that you should see in a video, not by my own words.
Senna as victim, and he withdraws from the world. If it's wet, it must be Adelaide. Senna must win, just in case McLaren's appeal succeeds, and the Suzuka result be cancelled. Prost and the majority of his colleagues don't want to race in these terrible conditions. There's a problem though with the younger drivers who understandably are frightened of their team managers. The drivers cannot persuade FISA or the organisers to cancel the race while Senna waits his own man on pole. The team managers need a start for their sponsors, and the sponsors need the TV. race starts. It's crazy. Senna is out, Boutsen wins, and Prost is champion for sure this time. Please rejoin us after the break. And Renault is even more determined to be world champion. There's a lot of changes there. Prost has gone to Ferrari, taking McLaren's engineer Steve Nichols with him. McLaren's new engineer is Neil Oakley. Tyrrell takes on Jean Alesi, who brings with him Jean-Claude Migeot, the man who designs the radical front wing on the Tyrrell, which everyone will later copy. Nelson Piquet goes to Benetton. And Alain Prost is laughing once more, joining Nigel Mansell at Ferrari. Berger's left Ferrari, swapped places with Prost for his McLaren seat. But Ayrton Senna stays put. So do the Williams-Renault pairing, with Terry Boutsen and Riccardo Patrese. The new car's been tested all winter, but initial tests have revealed some chassis problems, and these have to be sorted out as the season goes on. Aerodynamics have been the keynote over the winter, and a hard season ahead is promised for 1990. It's a busy season with wins for Prost, Senna, Piquet, Mansell, Boutsen and Patrese. Williams-Renault taking two of them. The Prost-Senna duel continues right throughout 1990. McLaren Honda on top, but Ferrari always close. Senna wins 6 races, Prost wins 5 to make a record 44. The duel finishes in Japan. Prost blames Senna, Senna blames Prost. But this time it is Senna who is champion, 2 years after the return of the Atmo cars.